Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Monday, September 12th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core picks for today. It is a smaller 6-game main slate overall, so definitely be sure to spend just a little bit less money today and get a little bit creative overall because it's going to be a pretty interesting slate overall. And then we'll move over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we went Luis Garcia at $10,000. Got to 24 points. Unfortunately, gave up like 3 runs and only pitched 5 innings yesterday. So I did give him a push yesterday. It was, middle of the pack. Wasn't anything to write home about. Then at first base, we had Pete Alonso at $3,600. Got to 9.5 points. I did end up giving him a hit yesterday. He's real close to double-digit points, so not going to say too much else about that. Then at second base, we had Harold Castro, who had very good history in the past versus Brady Singer. Unfortunately, yesterday he ended up with 0 points. He was a miss, and he was 0 for 4 on the day at $2,100. Then at third base, we had Josh Donaldson at $2,400. Got to 9.2 points, so he was a hit overall and a pretty decent paydown option. Then last but not least, we had George Springer at $3,700. Got to 6 points, so he was a push. Not anybody that really helped you, but not anybody that really killed your lineup at the same time. So with that being said, yesterday, not the greatest day in the world. If you had some other decent plays to go along with this, you still had a chance of cashing, but still would have been a little bit more difficult on yesterday's slate. Kind of been a little bit of a rough patch lately, but looking to turn that around pretty quickly once again today. And with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core picks for today's slate. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position. We have Chris Bassett at $10,000, averaging about 35 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Chicago Cubs, not one of the greatest lineups in the world. Should be a matchup that's pretty favorable for him, although he does have pretty limited history versus the Chicago Cubs hitters, but typically that does favor the pitcher overall. Then we move down to first base with Trey Mancini at $2,400, averaging about 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Detroit Tigers and Eduardo Rodriguez today. He is 12 for 41 with 2 home runs versus him in his career. Obviously, these two faced off quite a bit when they were in the AL East with the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. So that's definitely a matchup that I like to take advantage of with Trey Mancini today. $2,400, pretty cheap paydown price as well. Then at second base, you could also play him in the outfield. It's Jeff McNeil. He's $2,600, averaging about 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Chicago Cubs. It's Javier Assad. I think it's his 3rd or 4th career start at this point in time. So obviously Jeff McNeil has no career history versus him. However, he's been hitting the ball pretty well as of late, and he's got 3 multi-hit games in his last 4 games. So definitely look for him to continue that once again. Then we move over to third base with Alex Bregman at $3,300. Goes against the Detroit Tigers. Still Eduardo Rodriguez pitching, and he's 5 for 15 with 2 home runs versus him in his career. So definitely offers some pretty good upside there as well. Slowed down the hitting just a little bit as of late, but this is one that we are playing the matchup today, and I think it's going to be a pretty good day for him overall. And then last but not least, we have Michael Harris at $3,600, averaging about 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on a tear as of late. So he's had 6 multi-hit games in his last 8 games, a lot of double-digit performances, obviously, a lot of 20-point performances in there as well. His price tag has moved up, but he is going against Alex Cobb and the Giants today. He has no career history versus Alex Cobb in the past. Could be a favorable matchup for him, though, overall, especially considering the way he's been hitting as of late. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $13,100 remaining, just under $3,300 per player. So if there's somebody you want to pay up for today, especially like at shortstop, there's a lot of good pay up options, whether it's Bo Bichette, who's been on a tear, Trey Turner, who's been hitting the ball pretty well lately, or even Francisco Lindor. They're all kind of, that $4,000 to $3,800 price range. Definitely could look at guys there as well as the outfield, but definitely a lot of great options there. And if you need to pay down, there's some other good guys there as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. So in terms of the top stacks that we have for today, we have the Houston Astros going against Eduardo Rodriguez. Some of these hitters have hit him pretty well in the past. Obviously, he had a good start versus them earlier this year, but that was way back in May before his absence and then coming back. He's been decent since he's been back, but nothing crazy to write home about at this point in time. Then we have the Dodgers. They are going against Ryan Nelson, making his 2nd career start. The first start actually went very well against the Padres, but this is a dangerous Dodgers lineup, so I would not be afraid to stack them once again today. And then we have the New York Mets going against the Chicago Cubs. Javier Assad, as I already alluded to, it's his 4th career start. So no experience there for the Mets, but they have a pretty good lineup. And Assad wasn't like a high-level prospect or anything else like that. So the Mets should have a pretty good day versus him once again. Then we have the Toronto Blue Jays. When I was doing the research last night, it looked like the primary pitcher today or primary reliever, opener. Just kind of depends on what you want to call it for this Tampa Bay Rays team would be Ryan Yarbrough. The Blue Jays have a lot of good history versus him. But at this time, it looks like Cooper Criswell is going to be the opener, at least, for Tampa Bay. He's a guy that has very, very limited major league experience. I think an inning and a third. Hasn't pitched like a crazy amount in the minors this year, hasn't been pretty stretched out, so I doubt he goes probably more than 3 innings in this game. So you might see like a guy like Ryan Yarbrough come in after him and then kind of piggyback those two together, but should be a pretty good matchup for this Blue Jays team overall. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks and top GPP stacks for today, September 12th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on today's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is truly one for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, it's mainly MLB DFS and NFL DFS. I will put a disclaimer out there. I will be traveling this week, and I'll be gone for about a week, so this will be my last MLB DFS video until probably next Wednesday, and then for the week 2 NFL DFS, I'll see what kind of content I can put out, but there will be no video this week. So if that's something you guys enjoyed for week 1, definitely be sure to let me know, but I will not have it for week 2. But once we get around to week 3, I'll be back from my trip and making a couple different videos for the NFL DFS slate that week. And then with that being said, if you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this, besides this little break that I'm going to have for about a week, and then weekly NFL DFS videos. Going to be incorporating some more videos as time moves on with those. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.